The line at the bank felt longer than usual. I shifted my weight from one foot to the other, eyes darting over the glossy brochures stacked on the counter. The teller typed something into her computer, her fingers snapping across the keyboard. She looked up, smiled politely, and then said the number. My interest rate. Brutal. Higher than I expected. Higher than everyone else I'd been hearing about. I leaned back in the chair, the vinyl sticking to my jeans. A couple walked past, laughing, talking about the house they were buying. Not their first, not their fifth. They'd moved faster than me. The smell of stale coffee from the machine hit my nose. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, and somewhere deep in the back of my skull, that familiar pinch appeared. Everyone else seems ahead of me, always ahead. At work, people casually mention their investments over lunch. I just maxed my 401k contribution this month. I nod, smile, pretend I understand. Meanwhile, my own savings feel invisible, almost a secret shame. This isn't about not earning enough, not about laziness, not about missing some hidden class on how to handle money. That thought flashes in my head, but then the whisper, maybe I'm failing anyway. And that's the quiet pull that keeps you from noticing the leaks, the small habits that bleed your cash slowly. Those extra coffees, the app delivery fees, the shiny new car you bought because it felt like a statement. Each one is invisible in the moment. You can't see it until it hits the end of month statement. And even then, you scroll past the numbers, distracted by bills, notifications, emails. That sense of lag, the creeping awareness. That's the hook. The moment you realize, oh, that's why I'm always behind. You're not lazy, not in the slightest. You're not bad with money either. And you didn't miss some secret class or some hidden rule that everyone else magically knows. Take a deep breath. Look at the piles on your desk, the emails stacking up, the notifications buzzing on your phone. That's not failure. That's the world moving faster than the systems we've inherited. The credit card offers, the subscription apps, the marketing emails designed to make you feel behind before lunch. None of that is your fault. We've been trained to see money in a fragmented way. Save this. Don't spend that. But the economy, the banks, the advertisers, they've built systems that push, pull, and quietly nibble at your wallet without asking permission. You're playing a game where the rules were written without your knowledge. And that's the point. The shame you feel isn't really yours. It's borrowed from expectations that don't match reality, from comparisons that aren't meaningful, from habits that sneak under the radar. One latte, one delivery app, one impulse buy at a time. So, shake it off. Not like a shrug, more like a jolt. The embarrassment is temporary. The insight, that lasts. You didn't screw up. You just never saw the trap. And now that you know it exists, the question becomes, what do you do about it? You've probably heard it a million times. By 40, you should have 3 times your salary saved. Or, credit scores only improve slowly over years. They say it like it's law, like if you're not there, you're failing. Technically true, practically misleading. I remember sitting in a coffee shop, a half-drunk latte cooling in my hand, overhearing a couple brag about their perfect investments. I stared at my own bank app. My balance flickered and blinked. I should have felt guilty. But the truth, that benchmark, they've made it feel like a measure of your worth. But it's not. It's the same with credit scores. People obsess over points, letters, percentages, like it's a scorecard for life. Slow, steady, measured progress. That's the story they tell you. The reality? Credit isn't magic. It's math. Payment history, utilization, age of accounts. The rules are fixed, predictable, and yes, you can move faster if you know how. And the savings rules? Also misleading. Compounding interest works, sure, but most people ignore the tiny leaks that erode your wealth before interest ever has a chance to act. That $7 coffee every morning, the 3 delivery apps you open while scrolling through Instagram, a new outfit for an event you'll only attend once. Here's the point. The myths create anxiety. They make you think you're behind. They make you feel small, but the numbers, the mechanics, the reality, they're not scary. They're actionable. Once you see past the stories, you realize the power isn't in doing more. It's in understanding how the system actually works and shutting off the leaks quietly. Here's how it really works. No tricks, no hacks, just mechanics. Money isn't magic. It moves slowly, silently, and sometimes in ways you don't notice. Take your paycheck. You see it hit your checking account, and then gone. A little here, a little there. That $12 lunch, the $7 coffee, the $22 delivery order you swear you'll only do once. It disappears like water through a sieve. The system isn't broken. You are just playing by the wrong rules. Banks, credit cards, apps, they don't need to trick you. They just leverage the way your brain works. Loss is too small to feel, pleasure's too immediate, rewards for convenience. Your brain doesn't register them as a threat. That's why the coffee habit doesn't sting, why the delivery apps keep winning. Wealth isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in quiet compounding. Small amounts, month after month, deposits that arrive automatically before your spending account ever touches them. That's the trick most people miss. Take car buying. You drive a new car off the lot, $15,000 gone instantly, invisible to your day-to-day mind, but the math doesn't lie. 3-year-old car, half the cost. Invest the difference automatically. 10 years from now, that's a chunk of your retirement fund that didn't exist before. Or groceries. Name brands, impulse snacks, convenience foods. $3,000 to $5,000 a year quietly leaving your hands. Move to store brands, plan meals, automate shopping lists. The system works, no willpower required. Even phones, annual upgrades, extended warranties. Your device works fine. The battery can be replaced for $79. Skip the yearly hype. Put that money directly into your investment account. Over 30 years, that's tens of thousands. It's all just numbers. Mechanics. Invisible recurring costs are the real problem, not your discipline. Understanding the system changes the game. You see the flow. You know where the leaks are. You can redirect the water before it spills. That's why seeing the mechanics matters more than knowing the theory. Awareness replaces guesswork. And once you understand the system, action becomes inevitable. I know it works because I've seen it. Not in a textbook, not in some abstract chart, in real life. Take my neighbor Jason. Ordinary guy, small apartment, office job, 2 kids, always talking about one day he'd save, invest, get ahead. One evening I watched him at the kitchen table, bills scattered, laptop open, coffee half cold. He was frustrated, but he started small, one change at a time. First, he automated his savings. $200 a month went straight into an investment account before he could touch it. No thinking, no temptation. Then he cut out delivery apps, cooked in batches on Sundays. The smell of garlic and onions simmering filled his kitchen. 3 meals for the week, ready in containers. No extra charges, no fees. Next, he swapped brand name groceries for store brands. At first it felt weird. He touched the cans, sniffed the labels, convinced himself it would taste different. It didn't. Same flavor, lower price. A few weeks in, the savings piled up. He could see it in his balance. Visible. Real. Phone upgrades? Skipped 2 cycles. Old phone, same efficiency. Battery replaced for $79. That money went straight into investments. Slowly, quietly, the balance grew. 12 months later, Jason didn't look like a finance guru. He looked like himself. Same job, same apartment. But his account told a different story. The habits compounded. Small wins, invisible at first, added up. He had an emergency fund, investments, confidence that wasn't flashy. It was quiet, tangible. This is proof. Ordinary starting point. Simple actions, measurable results. You don't need to earn more. You don't need a fancy plan. You need clarity, understanding, and the courage to start redirecting the leaks you never noticed. Here's the thing about change. If you try to do everything at once, you get stuck, overwhelmed. Paralysis sets in. That's why order matters. Sequence beats volume every single time. Start by stopping the leaks. Look around your kitchen, your apps, your daily habits. That $7 coffee every morning? Replace it with a simple home brew. Delivery apps 4 nights a week. Batch cook. Store brand groceries. Those small invisible drains are priority 1. They're bleeding your money while you scroll Instagram. Next, tackle high interest debt. Credit cards, payday loans, anything over 15% interest. Pay it down systematically. Snowball or avalanche method, whatever works for you, but attack the high-cost holes first. You'll feel the weight lift off your shoulders before you even notice it. Build a buffer, emergency fund. 3 months of essentials in an account you can actually touch. Not a vague number on a spreadsheet. Cash in hand. That's your safety net, and it changes the way you make decisions every day. Suddenly, you don't panic at the idea of fixing the car, the fridge, the unexpected bills. Invest consistently. The money you save from the first steps now goes straight into a retirement account or index fund. Automated contributions, out of sight, out of mind, compounding quietly. You'll start seeing your net worth climb without feeling it in the moment. Finally, increase income. This isn't the flashy part. It could be overtime, side hustles, skill building, but once your system is running, every extra dollar magnifies. Order is everything. Stop leaks. Cut high-interest debt. Build a buffer. Invest. Increase income. One step flows into the next. Momentum builds. Skip a step and the system falters. Follow the sequence, and the process becomes almost effortless. You're not working harder. You're letting the system do the heavy lifting for you. Here's the part people don't see coming. Progress doesn't require decades, not if you start correctly. I remember seeing my cousin Mia. She started late, 30s, felt behind, overwhelmed, but she made the system work for her. Automated savings, cut the daily leaks, tackled debt in the right order. 3 months in, she opened her banking app and blinked. $1,200 extra she hadn't noticed accumulating. It wasn't flashy, but it was tangible. 90 days, that's all it took to feel in control. Not complete wealth, not retirement ready, but clarity, confidence. Proof that the mechanics work. Scale it up over a 25-year window. Small wins, compounding quietly, turn into massive results. The latte you skip, the extra groceries you don't buy, the delivery app meals you cook yourself, all these little moves multiply. Suddenly, what looked impossible becomes inevitable. Starting correctly beats starting early. You don't need to be 22 to make your money work. You don't need perfect timing. You need sequence. You need clarity. You need to plug the leaks that are silently draining you right now. Time compression isn't a promise. It's a reality when you let systems do the work quietly without relying on willpower. The difference between waiting decades and seeing results in months? It's all in setup. Here's the real enemy. Not the coffee, not the delivery apps, not the shiny car or the brand name groceries. It's the cycle your brain falls into without you noticing. Shame, avoidance, delay, deeper regret. It starts small. You skip tracking one purchase. Ignore a recurring charge. Tell yourself, I'll fix it next week. The feeling is light, almost harmless, but it compounds. One small miss leads to another. By the end of the month, you scroll through your bank app, blink, and the numbers sting. Too late. The system has already drained you quietly. Once you name it, it loses power. Awareness stops the cycle. You see the patterns. You recognize the triggers, the impulse buys, the convenience fees, the small recurring losses. Shame no longer hides behind ignorance. Avoidance no longer feels safe. Delay becomes a choice, not a habit. Regret shrinks before it grows. The trap is invisible until you spot it. And the moment you do, the power shifts. Awareness is your first defense. Systems and sequence are your second. That psychological trap warning, 180 words, naming the cycle and showing how awareness breaks it. Here's something you can do right now. Not next week. Not after research. Right now. Pull up your phone. Open your banking app. Look at your subscriptions, delivery apps, streaming services, the small recurring charges you barely notice. Pick one. Cancel it. Move the money you'd have spent directly into a savings or investment account. Or take your credit card. Look at the balance. Identify one high-interest payment. Set up an extra $50 payment this week. Nothing fancy. No planning spreadsheet required, just motion. The key is 48 hours. Pick one small, visible action and do it before the clock runs out. Motion creates momentum. You'll feel it. Subtle. Almost a click in your brain. That's the start of control. Do this once. Repeat with another expense. Another savings move. Each action compounds like the money itself. Tiny visible wins that build confidence before you even notice. The 48-hour rule is simple. Immediate action beats intention every time. Don't wait, move, redirect the flow. The system starts working for you the moment you act. Here's the last thing to remember. The benchmark doesn't matter. The numbers other people quote, the flashy accounts, the shoulds in your head, they don't define you. What matters is direction, small wins, visible motion. Every latte skipped, every batch cooked meal, every automated deposit, they add up. Slowly at first, then faster than you expect. You're not behind. You're not failing. You're redirecting your life quietly, deliberately. The system isn't against you anymore. It's working with you. Check your balance. Notice the difference. Feel the control. That's success, not perfection, not comparison, direction, forward, momentum. Your future quietly built, one intentional choice at a time.